Imagine a place where life itself began. A land so ancient, so teeming with life, that it's as if Mother Nature herself threw a wild, never-ending party and invited everyone on the planet. Welcome to Africa, the cradle of life. But hold on to your safari hat, because this is no ordinary history lesson. We're about to embark on a journey that's as thrilling as a lion chasing a gazelle and as awe-inspiring as an elephant's majestic march across the savannah. Africa is where it all started, where the very first humans took their first steps, and where the wildest creatures on Earth roam free, doing what they do best, being wild and utterly magnificent. Let's kick off our adventure by rewinding the clock, not just by a few centuries or even a few millennia, but by millions of years. Yes, millions. Picture this, a world where dinosaurs once ruled, but they've just exited the stage, leaving room for the real stars to emerge. Enter the mammals, strutting onto the scene like they own the place. And where did they decide to set up shop? Right here in Africa. It's like nature's very own VIP lounge, complete with a velvet rope and a bouncer who only lets in the most adaptable, the most resilient, and let's face it, the most fabulous species. Africa is not just a continent. It's the ultimate stage for life's greatest performance. Here, evolution has played out like the most epic reality show ever conceived. Forget Survivor or The Amazing Race. This is the original high-stakes game of life, where the rules are simple: adapt, thrive, or disappear forever. And the contestants? Everything from the tiniest ants to the mightiest elephants. Each one is a superstar in its own right, with a backstory more dramatic than any Hollywood script. But what makes Africa truly special isn't just its age or the diversity of its wildlife. It's the sheer audacity of life here. This is a place where animals don't just survive. They thrive in ways that are as unpredictable as they are incredible. Take, for example, the dung beetle. Yes, you heard that right, the dung beetle. This little critter is like the unsung hero of the animal kingdom, rolling balls of dung with the determination of an Olympian pushing a boulder uphill. It's not glamorous, but hey, someone's got to do the dirty work, right? And in doing so, the dung beetle plays a crucial role in the ecosystem, proving that even the smallest creatures can have the biggest impact. And let's not forget the baobab tree, often called the tree of life. These trees look like they were plucked straight out of a Dr. Seuss book, with their thick trunks and spindly branches reaching up to the sky like a giant's hands. They've been around for thousands of years, quietly watching the world change around them, storing water in their massive trunks for the dry season, and providing food and shelter for countless animals. If these trees could talk, they'd probably have more stories to tell than a seasoned safari guide. But it's not just about the animals and plants, it's also about the landscapes they call home. From the sprawling savannas, where lions rule with regal indifference, to the dense rainforests, where you can almost feel the heartbeat of the earth itself, Africa's landscapes are as diverse as the creatures that inhabit them. Each one is a character in the grand story of life, adding depth, drama, and a dash of mystery to the narrative. So, as we set off on this incredible journey through Africa's wild heart, remember that we're not just exploring a place, we're diving into the very essence of life on Earth. This is where it all began, where the blueprint for survival was drawn up, and where the story of life continues to unfold in the most spectacular way possible. Buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of it. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the A-list celebrities of the African wilderness, the rock stars of the savannah, the creatures so iconic that they've got their own fan clubs and merchandise. Okay, maybe not the merchandise, but you get the idea. I'm talking about the legendary Big Five: the lion, the elephant, the buffalo, the leopard, and the rhinoceros. These aren't just animals, they're the stuff of legend, the heavyweights of the animal kingdom, and each one has a personality larger than life itself. Now you might be wondering, why these five? What makes them so special? Well, let's travel back in time to when the term Big Five was coined by big game hunters who considered these animals the most difficult and dangerous to hunt on foot. But we're not here to hunt. We're here to marvel at these majestic creatures in their natural habitat, where they truly belong. So grab your binoculars and let's dive into the lives of Africa's most famous residents. First up, the king of the jungle, the lion. But wait, here's a fun fact. Lions don't actually live in jungles. Nope. They prefer the wide open spaces of the savannah, where they can lounge around all day in the sun, looking every bit like the royalty they are. With their majestic manes and powerful presence, lions are the undisputed rulers of the animal kingdom. But here's the kicker. They're actually quite the lazybones. Lions spend up to 20 hours a day resting. That's right, they're the ultimate couch potatoes of the wild. But when they're not napping, these apex predators are all business, with a hunting strategy that's as ruthless as it is efficient. Watching a lioness stalk her prey is like witnessing a perfectly choreographed ballet, except with a lot more teeth and claws. Next on our star-studded tour is the elephant, the gentle giant of the savannah. But don't let their calm demeanor fool you. These creatures are as tough as they come. Weighing in at up to 6 tons, elephants are the largest land animals on Earth, and they've got the attitude to match. They're fiercely protective of their families. And if you mess with a baby elephant, you'd better be ready to face the wrath of an angry matriarch. Elephants are also incredibly intelligent, with memories that would put most humans to shame. They can remember water sources and migration routes from decades ago, and they even mourn their dead, paying respects to the bones of fallen family members. It's like they're not just giants in size, but in heart as well. And then there's the buffalo, the bad boy of the Big Five. These guys don't take kindly to being messed with. Often called the Black Death, buffalo are known for their unpredictable nature and are considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. With their thick horns and muscular bodies, they look like they've just stepped out of a prehistoric era. And when they form a herd, it's like watching a tank division roll across the savannah, unstoppable and unyielding. But there's more to buffalo than just brute strength. They're incredibly social animals, living in herds that can number in the hundreds, and they've got a democratic streak too. When it's time to move, the herd collectively decides which direction to go, proving that even in the animal kingdom, teamwork makes the dream work. Let's not forget the leopard, the stealthy assassin of the savannah. If James Bond were an animal, he'd be a leopard. These big cats are masters of disguise, with spotted coats that blend seamlessly into the dappled shadows of their environment. They're solitary and secretive, often going unseen even by the most seasoned wildlife enthusiasts. But when they strike, they do so with lethal precision. Leopards are known for their incredible strength, often dragging prey much larger than themselves up into trees to keep it away from scavengers. It's like they've got their own private dining room, high above the chaos of the forest floor. And last, but by no means least, we have the rhinoceros, the tank of the animal kingdom. With skin that looks like armor plating and a horn that's both a formidable weapon and a coveted trophy, rhinos are built for survival. But despite their tough exterior, these creatures are facing a battle for their lives. Poaching has brought many rhino species to the brink of extinction, making them a symbol of the ongoing struggle to protect Africa's wildlife. But don't let their plight overshadow their power. When a rhino charges, you'd better get out of the way, because nothing stands between a rhino and what it wants. So there you have it, the Big Five in all their glory. Each one is a testament to the wild beauty of Africa, a living legend that roams the plains, forests and hills of this incredible continent. They are the stars of the show, the reason why people travel thousands of miles to experience the thrill of an African safari. But remember, these aren't just animals, they're the heartbeat of Africa itself, and every encounter with them is a reminder of the raw, untamed power of the natural world. And as we continue our journey through this extraordinary land, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when one of these magnificent creatures might make a grand entrance. Strap in, because we're about to witness one of the most breathtaking spectacles on Earth. No, scratch that. The most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding, blink and you might miss it wildlife event on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Great Migration. Imagine the biggest, most epic road trip ever. But instead of minivans and pit stops, you've got millions, yes, millions, of wildebeest, zebras and gazelles on the move, all in a life or death race across the savannas of East Africa. It's like a marathon meets a stampede, with a side of survivor thrown in for good measure. And trust me, there's nothing else like it. So what exactly is the Great Migration? Picture this: over 1 million wildebeest, 500,000 zebras, and hundreds of thousands of gazelles packing up their bags. Okay, not literally, but you get the idea, and hitting the road. Their mission? To find fresh grazing lands and water. A journey that takes them across the Serengeti in Tanzania and the Masai Mara in Kenya. But this isn't a leisurely stroll through the park. This is the wildest, most dangerous game of follow the leader you've ever seen. Every year, this epic journey covers around 1,000 miles, and along the way, these animals face every kind of challenge you can imagine. Let's start with the wildebeest, the stars of this natural blockbuster. Wildebeest might not win any beauty contests. Sorry guys, but those gangly legs and boxy bodies aren't exactly Vogue material, but they are the heart and soul of the Great Migration. These hardy herbivores are like the marathon runners of the animal kingdom, born to move and always on the go. From the moment they take their first wobbly steps as calves, they're already preparing for this epic journey. And when they move as one, in massive, undulating herds that stretch as far as the eye can see. It's like watching a living, breathing river of animals flow across the landscape. But it's not just the sheer numbers that make the Great Migration so incredible. It's the drama. Oh, the drama. You see, this isn't just a peaceful walk in the park. No, sir. The Great Migration is more like an obstacle course from the depths of nature's wildest imagination. Along the way, these animals must navigate treacherous rivers, filled with lurking crocodiles just waiting for their next meal. Picture this. A herd of wildebeest arrives at the Mara River, the current roaring like a freight train, and on the other side, lush, green grass that promises survival. But between them and that buffet table is a gauntlet of snapping jaws. It's a moment of pure tension as the first wildebeest takes the plunge, followed by hundreds, then thousands more. The river becomes a churning, thrashing battlefield where survival hangs in the balance. And as if that weren't enough, there's the small matter of predators. Yes, lions, cheetahs and hyenas are all tuned into this show, and they've got front row seats. For them, the Great Migration is like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and they're not shy about helping themselves. Watching a lion pride coordinate an attack on a wildebeest herd is like witnessing a high-stakes heist, where every move is calculated and the tension is off the charts. The wildebeest are no pushovers, though. They've got numbers on their side, and sometimes sheer determination and a dash of luck are enough to outwit even the savviest predators. But the Great Migration isn't just about survival of the fittest. It's also a story of renewal and the cycle of life. The journey is timed with the rains, which bring new growth to the plains, and with it, new life. As the herds move, they give birth to the next generation, right in the middle of all this chaos. Calves are born on the move, learning to stand and run within minutes, because in this harsh world, standing still isn't an option. It's nature's way of ensuring that life goes on, even in the face of overwhelming odds. And let's not forget the zebras and gazelles that join the wildebeest on this epic journey. Zebras, with their striking black and white stripes, add a dash of style to the proceedings. They're the fashionistas of the savannah, and they play a crucial role in the migration, often leading the way because of their keen eyesight and memory. Gazelles, on the other hand, bring the speed. These graceful animals can sprint at incredible speeds, zigzagging across the plains to evade predators. Together they form a migratory force that's unstoppable, well, mostly. But beyond the action, the Great Migration is also a reminder of the delicate balance of nature. This massive movement of animals is driven by the need to find food and water, resources that are becoming scarcer due to climate change and human activity. The migration is a testament to the resilience of these animals, but it's also a call to action to protect the ecosystems that support them. So, as we watch these millions of hooves thunder across the plains, let's take a moment to appreciate the wonder of it all. The Great Migration is more than just an animal migration. It's a living, breathing symbol of the wild beauty of Africa. It's a spectacle that leaves you in awe, reminding us all that in the grand story of life, movement is survival, and survival is life. And in the heart of Africa, life never stops moving. Welcome to the ultimate game of cat and mouse, or should I say, cat and antelope. In this chapter, we're diving into the heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping world of Africa's predators and their prey. A high-stakes drama that plays out every single day across the continent. This is nature's version of an action thriller, where the stakes are life and death, and the plot twists are more unpredictable than a cheetah's sprint. So, get ready for a front row seat to one of the most captivating spectacles in the wild. Let's start with the big cats, Africa's undisputed kings and queens of the hunt. Picture a lioness, her golden coat blending perfectly with the dry grass of the savannah. She's not just lounging around for the fun of it, she's stalking her next meal with the precision of a seasoned assassin. Lions, with their muscular build and powerful jaws, are the apex predators of the savannah. But here's the kicker. They're not the solitary hunters that many people imagine. Nope, lions are the original team players. They hunt in prides, working together like a well-oiled machine. It's like watching a coordinated military operation where every member knows their role. Some lionesses might initiate the chase, flushing out their prey, while others lie in wait, ready to pounce. It's teamwork at its finest, and when that final ambush happens, it's game over for the unsuspecting zebra or wildebeest. But the lions aren't the only big cats in town. Enter the cheetah, the Ferrari of the animal kingdom. These sleek spotted cats are built for speed, pure, unadulterated speed. When a cheetah locks eyes on a gazelle, it's like a drag race is about to begin. The cheetah accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds, faster than most sports cars. It's a breathtaking burst of energy, but it's also a race against time. Cheetahs can only maintain that speed for a short distance, so if they don't catch their prey quickly, the chase is over. Watching a cheetah hunt is like watching an Olympic sprinter go for gold, with every muscle firing in perfect harmony. And when they finally make the catch, there's a moment of triumph that's as exhilarating as it is fleeting. Now let's talk about the stealthy, elusive leopard, the James Bond of Africa's predators. Leopards are the masters of ambush, striking from the shadows with a blend of cunning and raw power. Unlike lions and cheetahs, leopards prefer to go it alone. They're solitary hunters, relying on their incredible stealth and agility to get the job done. Imagine this: a leopard silently stalking through the underbrush, its rosette-patterned coat camouflaging it perfectly in the dappled light. It's a ghost in the trees, moving without a sound until, BAM! It springs into action, taking down its prey with a powerful bite to the neck. And here's the cool part: leopards often drag their kill up into the trees, hoisting it with ease to keep it safe from scavengers. It's like they've got their own private dining room, high above the chaos of the forest floor. Of course, the predators aren't always the ones with the upper hand. The prey in Africa are no slouches when it comes to survival. Take the gazelle, for example. These nimble creatures are the epitome of grace under pressure. When a predator is on the hunt, gazelles rely on their incredible speed and agility to escape. But they've got another trick up their sleeve: stotting. That's right, stotting. An impressive, gravity-defying leap straight into the air. It's like they're bouncing on invisible trampolines. While it might look like they're just showing off, stotting actually serves a purpose. It signals to predators that they're fit and healthy, and therefore not worth the chase. It's like saying, "Catch me if you can, but good luck trying." And then there's the humble zebra. With their striking black and white stripes, zebras stand out in the savannah like a work of modern art. But those stripes aren't just for show. They're nature's way of confusing predators. When zebras move together in a herd, their stripes create a dizzying optical illusion, making it difficult for predators to single out an individual target. It's like watching a moving magic trick, where the prey seems to disappear into a blur of black and white. And when they do spot danger, zebras are quick to sound the alarm, using a series of high-pitched barks to warn the herd. It's a team effort, and in the wild, that can make all the difference. But it's not just about speed and stealth. Sometimes survival comes down to brute strength. Enter the Cape buffalo, the tank of the African savannah. These massive beasts might look like they'd rather be left alone, but if threatened, they can become one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. A lion pride might think twice before taking on a full-grown buffalo, especially when the herd bands together. With horns sharp enough to gore and a temper that could rival a rhino's, buffaloes are not to be underestimated. Watching a pride of lions try to take down a buffalo is like witnessing a David and Goliath battle, with the outcome never guaranteed. But the ultimate wild card in this predator-prey game has to be the hyena. Often misunderstood, and even more often underestimated, hyenas are the opportunists of the savannah. They're scavengers, yes, but they're also skilled hunters, capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. With jaws strong enough to crush bone, hyenas are like nature's cleanup crew, making sure nothing goes to waste. But they're also strategic hunters, working together in clans to take down wildebeest, zebras, and even young elephants. And let's not forget their eerie, bone-chilling laugh, which echoes through the night like something out of a horror movie. It's a sound that sends shivers down the spine of any animal within earshot, and it's a reminder that in the African wild, danger is never far away. So there you have it, the never-ending, ever-thrilling dance between predators and prey. It's a story as old as time itself, where every day is a battle for survival, and every encounter is a reminder of the raw, untamed power of nature. In this world, there are no guarantees, no scripts, and no second chances. It's life at its most primal, where the only rule is that there are no rules. And as we continue our journey through Africa's wild heart, one thing is certain. This is a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be awestruck as we step into the realm of the true giants of Africa, where the landscape itself seems to tremble under their mighty footsteps. These are the titans of the wilderness, the creatures so immense and powerful that they can reshape the very earth they walk on. In this chapter, we'll be getting up close and personal with Africa's most massive land mammals, creatures whose size is only matched by their presence. These are the giants of the savannah, the elephants and giraffes. Let's start with the elephants, the undisputed heavyweights of the animal kingdom. If there were a contest for the most awe-inspiring creature on Earth, elephants would take the gold every single time. Imagine coming face to face with an animal that weighs as much as 6 cars, stands as tall as a 2-story building, and yet has the gentleness to cradle a newborn calf with its trunk. That's the African elephant for you. A paradox of power and tenderness that leaves you speechless. Elephants are more than just their size, though. These animals are the architects of the savannah, reshaping the environment with every tree they push over and every waterhole they dig. Picture this: a herd of elephants making their way through the bush, their massive bodies parting the dense undergrowth like a hot knife through butter. They're not just passing through, they're transforming the landscape, creating open spaces where other animals can graze and access water. In many ways, elephants are the gardeners of the savannah, ensuring that the ecosystem stays balanced and thriving. But don't be fooled by their calm demeanor. Elephants are fiercely protective of their families, especially the matriarchs who lead the herds. These wise and experienced females are the heart of elephant society, guiding their families across vast distances in search of food and water. And let's talk about their memory. It's not just a saying, elephants really do have incredible memories. They can remember the location of water sources and migratory routes from decades ago, even in the midst of a drought. It's like having a built-in GPS that never needs an update. And then there's the elephant's trunk, one of nature's most extraordinary tools. This long, muscular appendage is like a Swiss Army knife, capable of everything from lifting tree trunks to delicately picking up a single blade of grass. Watching an elephant use its trunk is like watching an artist at work, blending strength and precision in perfect harmony. The trunk is also a key part of how elephants communicate, whether they're greeting each other with a gentle touch, warning off predators with a loud trumpet, or even showing affection with a loving caress. It's a reminder that these giants are not just powerful, but deeply emotional and social creatures. But let's not forget the other giant of the savannah, the giraffe, the tallest animal on Earth. With their long necks, slender legs, and those unmistakable spots, giraffes are like something out of a storybook. They're the skyscrapers of the animal kingdom, towering over the savannah with an elegance that belies their size. Watching a giraffe move is like watching a slow-motion ballet, each step deliberate and graceful, despite their enormous height. Giraffes are perfectly adapted to their environment, with their long necks allowing them to reach the highest leaves on trees, leaves that no other herbivore can get to. It's like having a VIP pass to nature's buffet. But those long necks aren't just for eating, they're also for fighting. When male giraffes compete for dominance, they engage in a battle known as necking, where they swing their necks like massive hammers, trying to knock each other off balance. It's an oddly graceful yet brutal display of power, and a reminder that even the gentlest giants have a fierce side. And then there's the giraffe's tongue. Yes, the tongue. Measuring up to 18 inches long, this dark, prehensile wonder is perfect for grasping leaves and stripping them from branches. It's also tough enough to handle the thorns of acacia trees, which would deter most other animals. Giraffes are picky eaters, selecting only the freshest, juiciest leaves, and they can consume up to 75 pounds of foliage in a single day. That's a lot of salad! But perhaps the most striking thing about giraffes is how they bring a sense of peace to the savannah. There's something almost meditative about watching a giraffe slowly move through the landscape, its head high above the treetops, surveying the world with those large, gentle eyes. They're like the Zen masters of the animal kingdom, reminding us to take things slow and enjoy the view from above. And let's not forget the social side of these giants. Both elephants and giraffes are highly social animals, living in groups that provide protection, companionship, and a sense of community. For elephants, it's the matriarchal herd that forms the core of their society, while giraffes often form loose herds, with individuals coming and going as they please. In both cases, these groups are more than just a collection of animals. They're families, with bonds that can last a lifetime. But life as a giant in the savannah isn't without its challenges. Both elephants and giraffes face threats from habitat loss, human conflict, and poaching. The demand for ivory and giraffe tails has put these majestic creatures at risk, and conservation efforts are critical to ensuring their survival. Yet, despite the dangers they face, these giants continue to thrive, adapting to their ever-changing environment with the same grace and power that has defined them for millions of years. So, as we stand in the shadow of these incredible giants, let's take a moment to appreciate the wonder of their existence. They are the living, breathing symbols of Africa's wild heart. Massive, majestic, and utterly unforgettable. Whether it's the thunderous march of an elephant herd or the serene glide of a giraffe across the horizon, these giants of the savannah remind us of the beauty, power, and fragility of the natural world. And in their presence, we are reminded of our own small place in this vast, incredible ecosystem. Welcome to the sky-high realm of the avian aristocracy, where feathers are the fashion and flight is the way of life. In this chapter, we're soaring into the dazzling world of Africa's birds, a kingdom filled with color, song, and spectacle that rivals any courtly display on Earth. From the regal African fish eagle to the flamboyant lilac-breasted roller, Africa's bird life is as diverse as it is breathtaking. So get ready to take flight with the winged wonders of the savannah, forests, and wetlands, where every bird has a story to tell and a song to sing. Let's start with the king of the skies, the African fish eagle. With its snowy white head, chestnut body, and piercing yellow eyes, this bird is the very picture of majesty. Often compared to the bald eagle of North America, the African fish eagle is a symbol of power and freedom, and for good reason. When it soars above Africa's lakes and rivers, it commands attention, its sharp cry echoing across the landscape like a clarion call. But don't let its noble appearance fool you. This bird is a skilled hunter, with talons sharp enough to snatch a fish straight out of the water. Watching an African fish eagle dive is like watching a missile lock onto its target, fast and precise, leaving little chance for escape. Once it has its prey, it rises back into the air, fish clutched firmly in its claws, and heads to a perch to enjoy its meal. It's a performance of grace and power that's nothing short of awe-inspiring. Next, let's turn our attention to one of Africa's most colorful characters, the lilac-breasted roller. Imagine a bird that looks like it flew through a rainbow and came out wearing the entire spectrum. Shades of blue, purple, green, and orange all jostle for attention on this pint-sized dynamo. The lilac-breasted roller isn't just a visual delight, it's also a master of aerial acrobatics. During courtship displays, these birds perform incredible mid-air rolls, flips, and dives, as if they're auditioning for the bird version of Cirque du Soleil. And they do it all with an exuberance that's infectious, making them one of the most beloved birds in Africa. But Africa's bird kingdom isn't all about flashy displays. There's also a deep sense of tradition and ritual in the avian world. Take, for instance, the majestic ostrich, the world's largest bird. Ostriches may not fly, but what they lack in airborne agility, they make up for with speed and strength. These birds are the marathon runners of the savannah, capable of reaching speeds up to 45 miles per hour and sustaining them over long distances. Picture this: a flock of ostriches sprinting across the open plains, their long legs covering the ground in powerful strides, dust kicking up in their wake. It's a sight to behold, especially when you consider that these birds stand over 8 feet tall and weigh as much as 300 pounds. And let's not forget their eggs, the largest of any bird, each one the size of a small watermelon. Ostriches are like the gentle giants of the bird world, embodying the strength and resilience of the African landscape. And then there's the enigmatic secretary bird, a creature that looks like it stepped out of a fantasy novel. With its long, crane-like legs, eagle-like head, and a crest of feathers that resembles quill pens, the secretary bird is both strange and striking. But don't let its quirky appearance fool you. This bird is a formidable predator, particularly when it comes to snakes. The secretary bird is famous for its snake hunting skills, using those long legs to stomp its prey to death with lightning-fast kicks. It's like watching a kung fu master in action, every movement precise and deadly. Despite its fearsome reputation, there's something almost elegant about the way the secretary bird moves across the savannah, its head held high, scanning the ground for its next meal. Of course, no exploration of Africa's bird kingdom would be complete without mentioning the flocks that fill the skies and trees with life. Take the red-billed quail, for instance. These small, seemingly unassuming birds hold the title of the most abundant wild bird species in the world, with flocks numbering in the millions. When they take to the air, it's as if the sky itself is alive, a swirling, shifting cloud of wings and beaks that moves with astonishing synchronicity. It's a natural phenomenon that has to be seen to be believed, like watching the wind itself dance. And then there are the weavers, the architects of the avian world. These small birds might not have the impressive size of an ostrich or the striking colors of a roller, but what they lack in physical presence, they more than make up for in skill. Weavers are famous for their intricate nests, which they construct from grass and leaves with meticulous precision. Each nest is a work of art, woven so tightly that it can withstand wind, rain, and even the weight of multiple birds. Watching a weaver at work is like watching a master craftsman, every movement deliberate, every strand placed just so. And when the nest is complete, it's not just a home, it's a fortress, protecting the weaver's eggs from predators and the elements alike. But perhaps the most captivating aspect of Africa's bird kingdom is the sheer variety of songs and calls that fill the air. From the haunting cry of the African fish eagle to the melodic whistles of the songbirds, the soundtrack of the savannah is as diverse as the landscape itself. Each bird has its own unique voice, contributing to the symphony that defines the African wilds. And it's not just about communication. These songs are also a way for birds to establish territory, attract mates, and ward off rivals. It's a language as old as time, spoken in a chorus that has echoed across the continent for millennia. In the kingdom of birds, there's always something to marvel at, whether it's the vibrant colors, the intricate behaviors, or the pure, unbridled energy of life in flight. These winged wonders remind us of the beauty and diversity of the natural world, a world where every bird has a place, a purpose, and a story to tell. And as we continue our journey through Africa, the songs of the savannah will stay with us, a reminder of the incredible richness of life that fills this remarkable land. So next time you look to the skies, remember that you're not just seeing birds, you're glimpsing the heart and soul of Africa itself, soaring high and free above the plains, forests, and rivers below. Deep within Africa's lush rainforests, where the canopy forms a dense, verdant roof that blocks out the sun, lies a world of mystery, magic, and sheer wonder. Welcome to the jungle, an enigmatic realm where every step is a discovery, and every rustle in the underbrush could mean a close encounter with some of the most fascinating creatures on the planet. In this chapter, we're venturing into the heart of Africa's rainforests, where life thrives in secret, hidden from all but the most intrepid explorers. Get ready to uncover the secrets of the jungle, where the tiny, the mighty, and the downright bizarre coexist in a delicate, intricate web of life. Our journey begins with the primates, the closest relatives to us humans, who make their homes in the towering trees and dense foliage of the rainforest. First up is the mountain gorilla, one of the most iconic and awe-inspiring inhabitants of these forests. Imagine trekking through the misty mountains of Central Africa, the air thick with the scent of earth and leaves, when suddenly the bushes part to reveal a massive silverback gorilla. Standing over 6 feet tall and weighing up to 400 pounds, this gentle giant is both imposing and strangely human in its demeanor. Despite their size, gorillas are vegetarians, spending their days munching on leaves, fruits, and bamboo shoots. But what truly captivates is the way they interact. Family groups led by a dominant silverback, whose role is as much about protecting his family as it is about leading them to food and shelter. Watching a gorilla family go about their day is like peering through a window into our own distant past, where bonds of kinship and cooperation were the keys to survival. But the gorilla isn't the only primate calling the jungle home. Enter the chimpanzee, a creature as intelligent as it is mischievous. Chimps are the ultimate problem solvers, using tools like sticks to fish for termites or stones to crack open nuts. They're also highly social, living in complex communities where alliances are forged, rivalries simmer, and every day is a new episode of jungle drama. Watching chimpanzees interact is like watching a soap opera. There's laughter, there's play, and yes, there's the occasional spat. But beneath the antics lies a deep intelligence and a complex social structure that is both fascinating and humbling. These creatures share over 98% of our DNA, and spending time with them feels like a reunion with long-lost relatives who have taken a very different path through life. Moving from the primates to the smaller, more elusive inhabitants of the jungle, we encounter the vibrant world of reptiles and amphibians. Take the chameleon, for example, nature's very own shapeshifter. These remarkable lizards can change their color at will, blending into their surroundings with a skill that would make a magician jealous. But their talents don't stop there. Chameleons have eyes that can move independently, allowing them to look in 2 directions at once, a handy trick when you're both predator and prey. And then there's that tongue, which can shoot out at lightning speed to snatch up insects before they even know what's hit them. Watching a chameleon hunt is like watching a slow-motion battle of wits, where patience and precision win the day. And let's not forget the rainforest's more diminutive residents, the frogs. In these damp, shadowy undergrowths, you'll find some of the most brightly colored and beautifully patterned amphibians in the world. The jewel-like poison dart frogs, for instance, are as deadly as they are beautiful. These tiny creatures carry enough poison to kill 10 grown men, yet they hop around the jungle floor with impunity. Their vibrant colors a warning to any would-be predator. But not all frogs are lethal. Take the tree frogs, who spend their lives high up in the canopy, where they use their sticky toes to cling to leaves and branches. Their calls, ranging from melodic trills to raucous croaks, fill the night air, creating a symphony that is uniquely jungle. But the secrets of the jungle aren't limited to the creatures we can see. There's an entire hidden world beneath our feet, where the soil teems with life. Termites, ants, and beetles work tirelessly to break down organic matter, recycling nutrients back into the earth and ensuring the continued fertility of the forest. These tiny engineers are the unsung heroes of the jungle, their underground networks as complex and efficient as any city on the surface. And then there's the fungi, those mysterious organisms that are neither plant nor animal, but something entirely different. Fungi play a crucial role in the jungle, breaking down dead trees and leaves and forming symbiotic relationships with the roots of living plants. It's a reminder that in the jungle, nothing goes to waste. Everything is connected in a delicate balance that has been refined over millions of years. Now, let's climb higher, up into the canopy, where the sunlight filters through the leaves in dappled patterns and the air is filled with the calls of birds and monkeys. Here we find the rainforest's aerial acrobats, the colobus monkeys and the hornbills. Colobus monkeys are known for their incredible leaping ability, moving from tree to tree with the grace of a gymnast. With their black and white fur and long flowing tails, they are a striking sight as they soar through the treetops. Hornbills, on the other hand, are the comedians of the canopy, with their oversized beaks and loud, cackling calls. These birds are not just noisy, they're also incredibly important for the ecosystem, dispersing seeds far and wide as they feed on fruit, helping to regenerate the forest. But the jungle's most elusive and mysterious residents might just be the forest elephants and the okapi. Forest elephants are smaller than their savanna counterparts, but they are perfectly adapted to life in the dense jungle. These elephants are rarely seen, moving silently through the undergrowth, their presence marked only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the deep, rumbling sound of their calls. The okapi, on the other hand, is a creature straight out of myth. With the body of a horse, the neck of a giraffe, and the stripes of a zebra, it's a living enigma that was only discovered by the outside world in the early 20th century. These shy and reclusive animals are rarely seen, adding to their mystique, and yet they are a vital part of the jungle ecosystem. As we leave the jungle, it's clear that this is a place of endless secrets, where every shadow hides a story and every sound tells a tale. The rainforest is a living, breathing entity, full of life that is as complex as it is beautiful. It's a world where the line between the known and the unknown is constantly shifting, and where the deeper you venture, the more you realize just how much there is left to discover. In the heart of Africa's jungles, nature's most profound mysteries remain, waiting to be uncovered by those who dare to look. And as we move on from this chapter, the secrets of the jungle will stay with us, a reminder of the depth, diversity, and sheer wonder of the natural world. Welcome to the stark, scorching beauty of Africa's deserts, where the sun rules with an iron fist and life is forged in the crucible of extreme conditions. This is a land of sand and stone, where survival is a game played with high stakes and the odds stacked against you. But don't be fooled by the barren appearance. Africa's deserts are anything but empty. In this chapter, we'll journey into the heart of these arid landscapes, uncovering the extraordinary adaptations and resilience of the creatures that call these inhospitable places home. From the vast expanses of the Sahara to the rugged beauty of the Namib, life in the desert is a testament to nature's ability to thrive in the most unlikely of places. Let's begin our desert adventure in the Sahara, the largest hot desert in the world, stretching across North Africa like a vast, sun-baked ocean of sand. Here, temperatures can soar to over 120 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, only to plummet to freezing at night. It's a place where water is more precious than gold, and where the wind carves the dunes into ever-changing sculptures of sand. Yet despite these harsh conditions, the Sahara is home to an array of wildlife that has evolved to survive in this unforgiving environment. Take the fennec fox, for example, the Sahara's most adorable resident. With its oversized ears and tiny body, the fennec fox looks like it belongs in a storybook rather than the harsh desert. But those big ears aren't just for show. They help dissipate heat and allow the fox to hear the faintest sounds of prey scurrying under the sand. The fennec fox is a master of survival, living in burrows to escape the heat of the day and emerging at night to hunt for insects, small rodents and birds. Its cream-colored fur reflects sunlight, keeping it cool, while its thick, bushy tail provides balance and warmth when the desert nights turn cold. Watching a fennec fox dash across the dunes is like witnessing a tiny living miracle, proof that life can flourish even in the most extreme conditions. But the fennec fox isn't the only desert dweller with impressive adaptations. Meet the dromedary camel, often referred to as the ship of the desert. These majestic animals are perfectly designed for desert life, with long legs that keep their bodies away from the scorching sand and thick pads on their feet to prevent sinking into the soft dunes. Camels can go for weeks without water, thanks to their ability to lose up to 30% of their body weight in fluids and still function. When they do find water, they can drink up to 40 gallons in one go, rehydrating in a matter of minutes. But it's not just about water. Camels also store fat in their humps, which they can metabolize for energy when food is scarce. It's like having a built-in pantry that they carry around with them. Camels are more than just pack animals. They're desert survivalists, perfectly equipped to navigate the Sahara's vast, arid expanse. Moving from the Sahara to the Namib Desert on the southwest coast of Africa, we find one of the oldest deserts in the world, where the landscape is as striking as it is ancient. The Namib is home to some of the most extreme contrasts on Earth, from towering sand dunes that glow orange in the setting sun to vast plains that seem to stretch on forever. And amid this stark beauty, life has found a way to thrive. One of the Namib's most fascinating residents is the Namib desert beetle, a tiny insect with a truly ingenious method of collecting water. In a place where rain is a rare event, this beetle has developed a remarkable strategy to survive. Every morning, as the cool ocean fog rolls in from the Atlantic, the beetle climbs to the top of a dune, tilts its body, and allows the moisture to condense on its back. The droplets then roll down into its mouth, providing the precious hydration it needs to survive. It's a simple yet brilliant adaptation that allows this tiny creature to thrive in one of the driest places on Earth. But life in the Namib isn't limited to the small and the insectoid. The desert is also home to the oryx, a large antelope with striking black and white facial markings and long spear-like horns. Oryx are built for desert life, able to withstand temperatures that would be fatal to other animals. They achieve this by regulating their body temperature, allowing it to rise and fall with the heat of the day. This ability to tolerate extreme temperatures reduces their need for water, which is crucial in an environment where water sources are few and far between. Oryx can go for long periods without drinking, deriving moisture from the food they eat, such as tough dry grasses and thorny shrubs. Their ability to survive on minimal resources makes them one of the desert's true survivors, embodying the spirit of resilience that defines life in these harsh landscapes. And then there's the desert-adapted elephant, a rare and extraordinary creature that roams the dry riverbeds of Namibia. These elephants are smaller than their savanna cousins, with longer legs and wider feet that help them cover vast distances in search of food and water. They've developed an incredible knowledge of their environment, passing down roots and survival strategies through generations. These elephants can dig deep into dry riverbeds to find hidden water sources, and they've learned to eat moisture-rich plants that other animals would avoid. Watching a desert elephant move through the stark, rocky terrain is like witnessing a miracle of adaptation, a living testament to the tenacity of life in the desert. But the deserts of Africa aren't just about survival, they're also places of profound beauty and mystery. As the sun sets, the desert comes alive with a different kind of energy. The cool night air brings out creatures that have been hiding from the heat of the day, like the nocturnal geckos that scurry across the sand, their eyes shining like tiny jewels in the moonlight. The stars above are so bright and numerous that the Milky Way seems close enough to touch, a glittering river of light that stretches across the vast desert sky. And in the silence of the night, the desert whispers its secrets, a reminder that even in the most barren of places, life finds a way to not just survive, but to thrive. As we leave the deserts of Africa, it's clear that these seemingly barren landscapes are anything but empty. They are places of extraordinary life, where creatures have evolved to withstand the most extreme conditions on Earth. The desert teaches us about resilience, adaptation, and the incredible power of nature to overcome even the harshest challenges. So the next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, Remember the fennec fox, the camel, the Namib beetle, and the oryx, animals that have mastered the art of survival in one of the toughest environments on the planet. In the deserts of Africa, life is tough, but it is also incredibly beautifully alive. In the heart of Africa, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the land can be as dry as a bone, there exists a lifeline that sustains the continent's extraordinary wildlife: the waterways. These rivers, lakes, and wetlands are the veins through which life pulses, providing water, food, and shelter to a diverse array of creatures. In this chapter, we'll dive into the vital role that Africa's waterways play in the survival of its wildlife, exploring the intricate ecosystems that thrive around these precious sources of water. From the mighty Nile to the lush Okavango Delta, the waterways of Africa are nothing short of miraculous, sustaining life in all its vibrant forms. Let's begin with the Nile River, the longest river in the world, snaking its way through 11 countries and bringing life to the arid landscapes of northeastern Africa. The Nile is more than just a river, it's a force of nature, a giver of life, and a witness to some of the most remarkable events in human and natural history. Along its banks, the land transforms from barren desert to fertile plains, a contrast that's as stark as it is beautiful. Here, in the shadow of the river, you'll find a lush oasis where animals gather to drink, feed, and breed. The Nile's waters are home to a plethora of species, from the fearsome Nile crocodile, one of the largest reptiles on the planet, to the graceful African fish eagle, whose haunting cry is synonymous with the river itself. The Nile crocodile is a creature as ancient as time itself, a living dinosaur that has survived for millions of years. These formidable predators are perfectly adapted to life in the water, with their powerful jaws, armored bodies, and stealthy nature. Watching a Nile crocodile silently glide through the water, barely a ripple betraying its presence, is both thrilling and terrifying. These reptiles are opportunistic hunters, lying in wait for hours, sometimes days, before striking with lightning speed. Their diet is varied, ranging from fish to unsuspecting antelope that come too close to the water's edge. But despite their fearsome reputation, crocodiles play a crucial role in the ecosystem, helping to keep the balance by preying on the weak and the sick, ensuring that only the fittest survive. But the Nile isn't just about the big and the fearsome. It's also home to the delicate and the beautiful. The African fish eagle, with its striking white head and chestnut body, is often seen perched on a branch overhanging the river, scanning the waters for fish. When it spots its prey, it launches into the air, wings outstretched, and dives with precision, talons extended to snatch the fish from the water. It's a breathtaking sight, a perfect example of nature's design and the delicate balance of life that depends on the river. Moving south, we find ourselves in the Okavango Delta, one of the world's most extraordinary natural wonders. This inland delta, located in Botswana, is a vast network of channels, lagoons, and islands that swell with seasonal floods, turning the arid Kalahari Desert into a lush, water-filled paradise. The Okavango Delta is a haven for wildlife, attracting thousands of animals during the dry season when water elsewhere is scarce. Here, elephants wade through the shallow waters, their massive bodies creating ripples that spread out like waves. Hippos lounge in the cool depths, only their eyes and nostrils visible above the surface, while crocodiles bask on the banks, soaking up the sun. The Okavango Delta is a place of abundance where life flourishes in every corner. Birds of all shapes and sizes flock to the delta, their vibrant colors and melodic calls filling the air. Kingfishers dive into the water with a splash, emerging with wriggling fish in their beaks, while herons stand motionless, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The delta's waters are teeming with fish, providing food for the many animals that rely on this rich ecosystem. But the delta is more than just a refuge. It's a living, breathing entity, constantly changing and evolving with the seasons. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Okavango Delta is the way it transforms with the floodwaters. As the rains from the Angolan highlands make their way down to the delta, the water spreads out across the land, creating a mosaic of habitats. The water brings life, and with it, a sense of renewal and rebirth. Plants that lay dormant during the dry season spring to life, their vibrant greens contrasting with the golden grasses. Fish that were trapped in drying pools during the dry season are suddenly freed to swim and breed in the floodwaters. The delta becomes a nursery, a place where life begins and flourishes, where the cycle of life continues year after year. But Africa's waterways aren't just confined to rivers and deltas. They also include vast lakes that are home to some of the continent's most iconic species. Take Lake Victoria, for example, the largest lake in Africa and the second largest freshwater lake in the world. This massive body of water straddles the borders of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and is a vital source of sustenance for the millions of people and animals that live around its shores. The lake is home to a rich diversity of fish, including the famous Nile perch, a giant of the freshwater world that can grow up to 6 feet long. But Lake Victoria is also home to a more delicate resident, the cichlid, a small, colorful fish that is renowned for its incredible diversity. There are over 500 species of cichlids in Lake Victoria alone, each one adapted to a specific niche in the ecosystem. These fish are a testament to the power of evolution and the richness of life that can be found in Africa's waterways. And then there's the mighty Congo River, the second longest river in Africa and one of the deepest rivers in the world. The Congo is a river of superlatives, flowing through the heart of Africa and creating a lush, green corridor in the midst of dense rainforest. The river is home to some of the most enigmatic and elusive creatures on the continent, from the endangered pygmy hippopotamus to the secretive shoebill stork. The Congo River is a lifeline for the forest and its inhabitants, providing water, food, and transportation in a region that is otherwise impenetrable. But the Congo is also a river of mystery, its dark waters hiding secrets that have yet to be fully explored. The river is so deep and so vast that there are parts of it that have never been mapped, where unknown species might still dwell. The Congo River is a reminder of the untamed wild nature of Africa, where even in the modern age, there are places that remain untouched by human hands. As we explore Africa's waterways, it becomes clear that water is the key to life on this continent. Without it, the land would be barren, the animals would perish, and the incredible diversity of life that we associate with Africa would cease to exist. The rivers, lakes, and deltas of Africa are more than just bodies of water. They are the lifeblood of the continent, sustaining life in all its forms. They are places of beauty, abundance, and mystery, where nature's most remarkable creatures come to drink, feed, and thrive. So, as we journey through Africa, let us remember the importance of water, not just in the savannas and forests, but in our own lives as well. Water is the essence of life, and in Africa, it is a force that shapes the land, nourishes the animals, and sustains the incredible diversity of life that makes this continent so special. The waterways of Africa are more than just physical features. They are the beating heart of the wild, a source of life that flows through the veins of the continent, bringing with it the promise of survival, growth, and renewal.